So we're here in the Zenith factory, and we're with the 64-inch Sensenich prop on the UL Power UL350iS engine on the Zenith CH 750 Cruzer. And what is it we're doing here, Roger?
We're repitching the prop. We tested it, and we need to gain a little bit more RPM than we had on the last setting. And Sensenich has these nice little pins, pitch gauges, and inside the hub there's two pins, one on each blade, and then you come in contact with the pins on the pitch pin, and that's how you set your angle.
So that just makes it a lot easier to do. And just I can see we're basically keeping the prop on the airplane here. We're not taking it off, so that's obviously a big time saver, isn't it?
Oh yes. I'm going to tighten it up a little bit.
So we've got the pin inserted, and so we know we've been able to repitch it, right?
Correct.
And of course, we've got documentation on how to do this and so forth. So we were out flying it earlier this morning, and so what pitch were we at?
We're at pin setting number 5, and our static RPM was in the 2600 RPM. And our maximum RPM in flight, level flight, was only a little less than 2800.
So we basically have a bit too much pitch right now, is that correct?
Correct.
So we're dialing it back one, and then once we're kind of happy with what we think is the optimum pitch setting, we'll go and do another test flight. We'll report on the speeds, all different directions, kind of like we did last time with the 68-inch prop, right?
Now, as you know, there's always compromises. You know, we might get more speed, but then our takeoff and climb might reduce a little bit, so it all depends on what the customer is looking for. Okay, so then we need to set our torque wrench to 340 to 360 inch-pound. It's a good idea when you retorque a prop or retorque anything that's very critical to the airplane that you have somebody supervise you, and you document, make sure you're doing everything proper, because it is very easy to get distracted and not do torquing proper. So we want
basically just a second set of eyeballs just helps you do your job, I guess, to make sure that you didn't overlook or forget something or mark something wrong.
And we're gradually bringing the bolts up to the proper torque. We're doing it in a star pattern.
So let's go flying and test this 64-inch Sensenich prop. As we can see, it definitely looks a little bit shorter than the other prop. It just not as beefy, not as much cord on the prop, and a couple inches shorter on the diameter. But let's go fly it and see how it does. Well, it's Wednesday morning, couple days after we did our last test. The conditions outside, it's not sunny, our temperature's nearly the same, so it should be a good day to do a follow-up. Last time we went flying, we had the 68-inch prop in a kind of an optimum setting. Now we've got the 64-inch prop, and we played around with it already a little bit earlier this morning with different prop settings. Now we think we have about the setting that will allow us to get the required RPM setting on the engine. So we're going to do a kind of a run up here and do a static run up as well, just to see what RPM we can develop out of it. Right now doing just standard run up here. And we're going to go all the way up. I'll put my feet on the toes as well, toe brakes. Looking at static RPM, 2760. 2760 on the RPM, yep. On the static run up.
Yeah, just cross that one out if you will.
And sure, 2760. And so this is again the 64-inch Sensenich prop with we have it marked as pin number 3, which is the settings for the pitch using the Sensenich pins. And then we'll do kind of the same thing as we did last time. We're going to fly the pattern. We'll fly all the cardinal points. southeast west at 2600 RPM, then 2700 RPM, and then 2800 RPM or max continuous. Yeah.
And then average them out.
All right, now let's listen to the conditions here.
Altimeter 2983.
And again, very similar conditions than a couple of days ago. It's kind of like a spring-like day. I'm still not even wearing
Mexico
a
Memorial
coat anymore.
Airport. Automated weather observation 1716 Zulu. Weather wind 140 at 4. Visibility 10. Ceiling 1000. Overcast. Temperature 11 Celsius. Dew point 10. Altimeter 2983.
So we're on the long runway here. Got lots of space.
Mexico traffic, Memo 750 Cruzer is going to be departing runway 06. Will be a dark departure for Mexico.
And throttle all the way in, nose off the ground. And first impressions, it definitely seems to be a little bit longer takeoff roll, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Felt like a certified airplane there.
I wouldn't go quite that far.
I can say it.
But definitely a little bit longer now. Again, this is a Cruzer model that we're flying in right now. This isn't our STOL version, so it's again not designed as a short takeoff and landing airplane, but still we're used to very good takeoff performance. Here I see we're climbing over 700 feet per minute right here indicated, and you're really not pulled too back, or even up there.
There we go.
Back. Oh, 800, 900 feet per minute rate of climb. And that's one thing we really haven't done yet with the prop. We haven't really looked at the takeoff and climb performance because that's really not the purpose of this test. Was we were looking more for the cruise speed, because that's why we're trying this shorter prop out. We know the bigger prop, meatier prop, more diameter, that's always going to favor takeoff and climb performance. But this one, we're trying to see if are we able to get a bit more speed out of it, and we're really questioning the results at this point. But again, the reality is, it proof's in the pudding, in the sense we go out, we fly it, we test it, and see what the results will give us. So again, nice morning out. We'll do about the same thing, go about 500 feet above ground, and that gives us a good basis to test that. Always enjoyable to see low and slow type flying. I always enjoy that, although maybe not so slow anymore, but the definitely low type flying. We know the area quite well. We know that we don't have any obstructions, so we feel really quite comfortable flying at these lower levels here. So the first test sets we're going to be doing at 2600 RPM. Is that correct?
It is, in the north heading.
And so now we're doing due north, and again, we'll be showing that on the GPS track. And so due north, 2600 RPM. So we're indicating right now 2600 RPM. Indicated airspeed of what, 108, 109, I'd say 108. We're going to mark that, 108. And then the ground speed, 118. And a bit of a tailwind in this configuration.
Okay, you got it?
And I got it marked, yep. And do a right-hand turn. And then, which will bring us to be due east, heading of 90. And still at 2600 RPM. 2600 RPM, 107 miles an hour. Ground speed of 104. Okay. And starting to be pretty good at doing this, aren't we?
I was going to say, we're getting like professionals here.
But that's the idea, is you want to take multiple readings and we average them out, so not one individual reading will overweigh too much. And so now due south, and 180, perfect, 2600 RPM, indicated 106.
Wait, hold on, I was climbing.
Oh, sorry about that, okay. 26, 101, it's actually 105, so. And our ground speed of 96, because now we're into the wind. And now the final right turn to go to the west. 270. Still at 2600 RPM. Nice and level, 26. Okay, 103. I marked that at 103. Ground speed 107. Okay, so that's 2600 RPM, which we know from past experience, that's a good economy cruise RPM. Okay, so now we're going to turn the page in here and switch over to 2700 RPM. And I see Roger's already done that.
The nose goes down,
Yeah.
I added power.
You can really feel that. Feel it, slightly different vibration, slightly different sound. But still, everything's running nice and smooth. Been impressed with that prop from a smoothness standpoint. Okay, so we're still heading west at 2700 RPM. Now we're indicating at 111 miles an hour. Ground speed of 113. Okay. And another right-hand turn. Back to north now. Doing a great job of holding altitude at 500 feet. And now doing due north, 360 heading. $2,700 RPM. Stabilizer, a tiny bit fast here still. Okay, 113, 112, I'm going to mark that at 113. Ground speed of 122 with the wind. Turn to the right to go back to east. Having two people makes it a little bit easier because Roger can concentrate on the flying and I can concentrate on getting the numbers. So that's always, and then of course we're at a typical loading, two adults, we've got nearly full fuel. And so it's a pretty good loading scenario here. Okay, so heading to the east, I'm seeing 115, we're marking it 115 on the east, ground speed of 111.
Is that it for that one? Or are we going to do a south?
And then we need a south still,
Okay.
yep. Then final going back to the south heading at 2700 RPM. $2,700 RPM, 500 feet, nice and level, and mark that at bit of bouncing around a little bit, 112, and ground speed of 102. Okay, and then next and final real heading that way, we're going to be doing the 2800 RPM. Now, how far back are we from full throttle here? Okay, we're still, we're pulled back a little bit, so yeah, we definitely have more ability that way. So 2800 RPM, level 116, that's south, 116. And our ground speed of 106, okay? And now back to the west. Again, we can really feel the additional power, the additional speed, a little bit louder. Leveling off, still exactly 500 feet, 2800 RPM, 117, 16, 160, 160. That's to the west, 116, ground speed of 118. And back to north. Low ceiling day today, but surprisingly smooth. Sometimes these overcast days are the smoothest days, aren't they?
Oh, they are.
Okay, 360 heading, 500 feet, 2800 RPM, 118, 119, 120, 24, 23, 21, 19, and I'm marking at 21, 121. And a ground speed of 125, 126, 126. now back to east. 500 feet, 2,800 RPM. There we stabilize a little bit and stabilize 119, I'm going to mark it. 119, ground speed of 115. Okay,
let's
we've
get
done
level
that,
flight RPM.
and then we're going to put it all the way in. Thumb pushes it all the way in. 2840, 2830, 2830, 2840. Yep. So mark it at 2840. Max RPM, and then we're indicating.
Oh, you want?
Yeah, sure. We might as well see what we're indicated. Not pushing it too much here. Ground speed 2830, 120, 122, 122 IAS, and ground speed of 1.
You don't care about
it. 2840. Okay, so we basically got those measurements. Overall, it doesn't seem to be appreciably faster, doesn't it?
I would stay with the other prop if it was my choice.
Right, because our takeoff performance is definitely longer with this prop.
Definitely.
I'd say probably about twice the speed, and then our initial climb is not as good. And and our cruise speeds, and we'll tabulate this, but our cruise speeds really don't seem any appreciably better.
Right.
And so, yeah, in this configuration, and it's kind of interesting because, again, I wouldn't be surprised, again, in some airframes, some combinations, that this prop may actually be a faster prop, but in this configuration, as we're testing it, it really doesn't seem to be much of an improvement. I kind of like the looks of the other one as well. It's just looks a little bit more serious of a prop, a little bit more diameter, and just a bit more chord on the prop. So still a good prop product. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem at all flying it continuously with this prop, but it just comparatively, it seems that the original one is a little bit better. And so we'll share that information, obviously, with Sensenich, and then sharing it. We like to share this with builders so that they can kind of see the advantages and disadvantages of each product out there. In this case here, you know, it's the same brand, same type of propeller, same manufacturing, same adjustment. It's just a different diameter and a different blade design, but otherwise very much the same thing. So we're going to be
Mexico traffic, Sparrows turning left base for 06 Mexico.
I'll come back into the airport. Bring back power, bleed off the airspeed so I can lower the flaps.
Is there any noticeable difference with the slow flight characteristics, the glide, and so forth? Probably not.
I can't really tell a huge difference. I'm sure there's something, but it's not like a night and day, no.
Right. Which, yeah, I wouldn't expect. It's very similar.
Not like when we was testing like on the 701 different props.
Right. And here we have a light crosswind. When we do flight testing, we always like to use a long runway. So even though the wind right now favors a little bit north-south runway, we're going to still land on runway 6 here. Just a light wind. Here we're indicating in the 40s. Wow, nice and low. In the 30s now. That was a real slow landing again.
Yeah.
Well, we'll tabulate all our results this way, and we'll kind of do we'll do a tabulation of both results so that you folks can really see also with the 64-inch prop, which is what we're flying right now, as well as our 68-inch prop. And we'll share the information as well as what pin settings that, you know, with the different pitches, we kind of find the pitch that gives us the best RPMs and still get a good cruise speed and normal takeoff and climb performance. Obviously, again, being the cruiser airplane, we're trying to find more cruise speed out of this configuration because this isn't really configured as a short takeoff and landing air. We really want to find the configuration that'll work best.